All right, all right, all right. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for joining me today. We are going to be talking about how to become a legal tax professional. Now, if you are seeing me for the very first time, I want to quickly introduce myself. My name is LaShawn Adesemi Lolu. I am an author, tax coach, entrepreneur, speaker, and I love talking and coaching about taxes. So, taxes has been my life for the last 6 years. It has opened up so many incredible opportunities for me. And I really didn't know how simple it was to actually become a tax professional. And I want to share with you guys how you can do that too, and how you can possibly get in this industry and change your life. The first thing I want to go over is what kind of opportunities exist for tax professionals. So, what can you do as a tax professional? First, you can work on the side for family and friends. So, when I was younger, my mom used to always say, we need an expert in every industry in our family. So we need a medical professional, we need a lawyer, we need a nurse, we need people who are experts in their field so that we don't have to go outside of our family for help. So just think about that for a moment. Do you have any tax professionals, any tax accountants in your family? If not, you could be that person for your family and for your friends, especially if you don't know anyone else. So that is one thing that you can do. You can just work for family and friends. You can work under a company and prepare taxes on a wider scale. So just think about it. The possibilities are endless. You can work for any number of companies. You can prepare taxes for strangers. You can work just during the tax season, and you can actually build a career in taxes just doing that. Now, if you want to work with business owners, this is a great, great, great field because there are so many different business owners, self-employed people. Think realtors, think truck drivers. Anybody who is self-employed needs to do taxes, and they usually don't know how to do taxes. So you can work directly with business owners, assisting them with tax return filing, and you can make a career that way. One thing I definitely want to stress about taxes is it is not just seasonal, okay? There are people who always need to do extensions, back taxes. Business owners have to file at different times. So it's not just seasonal. You can work year round as a tax professional. Okay. So one of the first things when I first got in the tax industry, I didn't realize how easy it was to get in the tax industry. I actually thought you had to have a CPA license. I thought you had to have maybe a degree in taxation. Get this, y'all. You don't even need to have a diploma or GED. When I found that out, my mind was blown. You don't need to have any type of degree. You don't need a diploma. You don't need a GED. This is a very low entry level field, okay? You just need three things to succeed in the tax industry. Number one, be willing to learn. And you have to be willing to learn because as we all can see, taxes changes every year. They just gave us more of the child tax credit. Things are unemployment. Things are changing regularly. So you have to be someone who is willing to learn. You have to be teachable, and you need to be hungry, motivated, goal-driven. If you have these three things, you can definitely succeed as a tax professional. Now, we know that you don't really need anything to get started in the industry, but those three things. And I thought that you had to be very good at math. So back 6 years ago, when I got started in this industry, my boyfriend, he had a degree in accounting. Some of you guys may know him. That's Moses, my husband now. And he said, hey, you should come and be a tax professional. I'm like, I don't even like math like that. I don't think I can be a tax professional. See, I don't know, like most of you, let me know in the chat if this is you, But I thought that a tax professional could look at a W-2 and tell me exactly how much my refund would be or how much I would owe. Like, I thought you had to have that kind of brain. No, your professional tax software does 90% of the work. Guys, I am not joking. Your tax software does 90% of the work. So all you need to know is the basic tax laws, be a people person, and have professional tax software. Most of what you're going to be doing is data entry, okay? Your professional tax software is going to compute everything for you. So when you know how to read a W-2, you just tell somebody, okay, let me take your information, let me put it in my system, and I will get back to you with your numbers. It is that simple. Most of this is being a people person. Let me tell you about the type of person who succeeds as a tax preparer. The type of person who can talk to anybody. The people person. You ever met somebody and you just like, wow, you open up to them right away. You feel like you can talk to them about anything. This is the type of person that succeeds as a tax professional. Think about your hairstylist, okay? Because I know all of them are like this. When you get in their chair and they start doing your hair, they can make a conversation about anything. And they make you feel comfortable and they make you feel confident. They have those people skills, and that's why you keep going back to that person. It is the same thing in the tax industry. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to behave a certain way. You just have to be yourself. And the person that you naturally gravitate towards, that's going to be your clients, okay? So it's really about, when you get in this industry, finding a niche. And we're going to talk about that a little more later. Finding a niche. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this opportunity is like, anyone can make it in this industry. Anyone. Another quick story. So my uncle, he saw me getting in the tax industry and I inspired him to actually start a business. Now, the thing about my uncle is, I told you, anybody can succeed, right? He is I'm gonna say hood. You know, we got to bring a hood guy, right? And so throughout his life, like, he has been to jail, he's been on the streets mostly. He is not the person that you would immediately think of when you think tax professional, right? Most people would say, if you say, oh, I want to be a tax professional, you'd be like, no way anybody is going to trust you to do their taxes, right? He has a very successful tax business. And you know why? Because he understands his niche. When I tell you, you do not have to be anybody different, I mean it. His niche, his clientele is the very people he hang around with all the time, okay? So it's going to be his neighbors. It's going to be people he grew up with, people he went to high school with, their friends and family. So a lot of people think that you have to be this very educated person, this very, you have to look a certain type of way. And you can, but because everybody has to do taxes, there is an opportunity for anybody to succeed. So I don't want you to go out here and feel like, just because I don't have a high school diploma, just because I don't have a degree, just because I'm older or I'm younger or I look this way, people will not take me seriously. That's not true. If you believe in yourself, other people are going to believe in you too, okay? So anybody can succeed in this industry. Now let's go over some of these qualifications. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or go ahead and comment on YouTube and I'm going to get right back to you. The first thing is you have to be 18 years old. Now, you don't need the high school diploma or GED, but you do have to be 18 years old. The first step is to learn how to do taxes, and you just need to know the basics. When I first started out, we had to go through this whole row of things about taxes. I was so overwhelmed because I said, whoa, I need to know all of this. How am I going to remember all of this? I'm here to tell you, when you're first getting started, you do not need to know everything about taxes, okay? You are not trying to become an expert in the first year. You just need to know the basics. So my husband and I actually created a tax course that was very, very simple for people who are just beginning, because we didn't want people to be overwhelmed like we were. Some things you need to know is like, what are the filing statuses? So if somebody comes to you and say, hey, can you help me do my taxes? You know immediately, based on their situation, how they should file. You need to be comfortable knowing what a W-2 looks like, a 1099, common tax forms, okay? You need to understand when a person needs to itemize and when it's better for them to go for the standard deduction, and how to process tax returns for self-employed people. That is really the basics of what you need to know. And we created this course that shows you the basics of what you need to know. And is broken down into video modules, very short video modules that will not overwhelm the average person. That's the basics that you need to know at first, just getting started to become a legal tax professional. Okay, if you go and take a course, do not try to learn everything about partnerships, corporate taxes. You are not trying to be an expert the first year. This is the kind of industry that you can spend years building on. You understand? So don't try to learn everything and get overwhelmed the first year. Don't try to be an expert. Now, the reason you do want to know the basics, okay, you do need to learn taxes, is because when you become a legal tax professional, well, guess what? You have due diligence requirements, right? The IRS regulates us. We have a responsibility to be filling out tax returns correctly. And if we don't, guess what? There's going to be a penalty. So right now, there's actually a penalty of $530 for each credit. That's the EIC, Earned Income Tax Credit, the Child Tax Credit, the Additional Child Tax Credit, the Other Dependent Care Credit. There's about 5 different credits that if you are not doing your due diligence, right, if you don't know what you actually need to do, you can be fined by the IRS for each of those credits. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm saying this to really drill down. You need to first learn how to do taxes, okay? If you need help with that, we do have the online tax course. We're going to drop it in the comments and you can get it if you're just starting out. But that's the first thing you want to do. Learn how to do taxes. Next thing is you want to get your Ptin, okay? That's Ptin, and it stands for Preparer Tax Identification Number. So this number is issued to you by the IRS. And basically, you can think of it like a social security number that identifies you as a tax preparer. So anytime you actually complete a tax return, you have to list that Ptin number to say, hey, I did this taxes and I take responsibility for this taxes. Right now, I think the fee is $35 to get a Ptin. That's what you need. Most states do not require you to have a certain license, okay? Most states. So there are 4 states that I know of that you do have to have a special license. That is California, New York, Maryland, and Oregon. So if you're in those 4 states, you have to pass a special test, okay? But if you are not, like right now, I'm in Georgia, I don't need to do that, okay? The Ptin works just fine as long as I know taxes. Okay, if you guys have any questions about that, let us know in the comments and we will get back to you. The second step is to get your Ptin. Third, you need to find a company to work for, or you can work for yourself. Okay, I'm going to go back over that. I would strongly encourage you, if you are just starting off as a tax professional, to work under a company. Why do I say that? I'm going to go back to those penalties for not meeting your due diligence, okay? If you are messing up people's taxes, not only will you get fined, but the person that you're trying to help, you might get them into trouble. They might have to pay back fines. And trust me, when you're just getting started, you're going to be working a lot with family or friends, and you do not want that type of stress, okay? You don't want people calling you up saying, hey, where's my taxes? Hey, the IRS is calling me. You don't want that kind of drama in your life, okay? I'm speaking from experience. My first year doing taxes, I was so afraid. I was so afraid that might mess up somebody's taxes, okay? My mentor, I remember actually crying to her one day because I was like, I'm scared that I might mess up somebody's tax return. My boss at the time, when I was working, I told her I was a tax preparer, and she said, hey, can you do my taxes? And I was so scared, like, what if I mess up on her taxes and, she fires me? And it was a big thing. So you definitely want to have a mentor that can walk you through the process. So when I first started, my mentor was able to go over every single tax return I did to make sure I was doing it correctly. Also, when I had questions. So a lot of times when you tell people, hey, I'm a tax professional, they might start asking you questions. And I was a big fan of the hang up, okay? Let me tell y'all what I did. So I would be on the phone with somebody and I say, hey, I'm a tax preparer. And they might ask me a question like, oh, I have this form 1098 for my mortgage. What can I write off anything for that? And if I didn't know the answer, I would hang up, right? I would just hang up. And I would quickly call my mentor and I would say, hey, somebody's asking me this question. What do you think I should do? And then she would tell me the answer. And then I would call them back and say, hey, I'm sorry, my battery was dead. What was the question that you asked me? And then she would repeat it. And then now I had the answer. So just having a mentor that you can call on is going to give you so much confidence, okay? It's going to give you so much confidence. You're going to be able to keep a lot of clients. If you have somebody that you feel might be out of your league at first, right? My first year, I attracted some business owners. I had a dentist who came to me because I was walking around passing my flyers out to everybody. A dentist came up to me and he wanted me to do his taxes. And so I didn't actually prepare to myself. I gave his taxes to my mentor and she did it for me. And I just, gave him back the taxes. So it's going to allow you, having this mentor will allow you to do taxes that you might feel is out of your league at first. You're going to have the ability to ask questions. And most importantly, you can make sure that you are doing your due diligence, especially the first few years, because guys, it can get confusing at first, especially with all these new tax law changes, okay? So the third step was to find a company to work under. Now, once you take the tax course, right, and get your Ptin, there's a lot of different companies that you can work with. You can go to one of the big box brands like H&R Block and Liberty. They are always hiring. Our company, our sister company, is always hiring for independent contractors. If you take the course and pass it, you can work with us as an independent contractor. Now, if you are looking at working with another company, there's usually two ways you can do it. They're going to pay you hourly or they're going to pay you a commission. I would strongly suggest do not accept hourly, y'all. It is too low. Okay, if somebody's trying to pay you $12, $15 per hour, it's too low. They're trying to pay you for data entry and you are now a tax professional. Go with the commission. So let's do a little bit of math here. The average tax prep fee is about $350, okay? Let's say you get a 40% commission split. On a basic tax return, you're looking at $140 per tax return, okay? Why would you be taking $12 an hour? You can get $140 a pop for any basic tax return. Now, let's say you did a more complex tax return. Let's say you did a business tax return and that was $750. And you're still doing a 40% commission split. Guess what? You're looking at a commission of about $300 or more per tax return. Okay. Why would you settle for hourly? If you can make $300 per tax return and you can get your friends and family, you can quickly see how that amount of money is going to add up. So again, I say, if you work for a company, do not settle for hourly. Definitely go with commission, okay? So that's step number 3. Number 4, let's say that you decide not to take my advice and you say, you know what, I want to go ahead and go off on my own. That's fine as well. You're going to need to get your EFIN. That's your electronic filing identification number. So basically, you're going to have to register with the IRS that you are going to be the person responsible for transmitting tax returns. It is a very lengthy process to get your EFIN. We have a course that walks you through the process. It's called How to Launch a Virtual Tax Business. We'll also put that in the link, but that is going to tell you how to go through the process of getting your EFIN. It usually takes about at least 60 days to do that. So if that's something you're thinking about doing, you want to start doing it now. The benefit of getting your EFIN is, of course, you won't have to share a commission with anybody, but keep in mind, you don't have a mentor. If you're just getting started, it's one thing to prepare taxes, and it's a whole nother thing to be a business owner. So just consider that. The next step, number 5, is to get professional tax software. So we're not going to be using TurboTax here. Earlier, I mentioned that your professional tax software does about 90% of the work. You want to get a really good, really reliable tax software. The software that we use is Drake. I think it's one of the best softwares out there. They also have excellent customer service. Now, when you work under a company, one of the benefits is they are going to provide you with your professional tax software. So tax software is usually thousands of dollars, but if you work under a company and you're sharing a commission, you usually won't need to pay that out of pocket. At least I know our independent contractors, that is something that we actually provide to all of our independent contractors. So keep that in mind. Number 6, the 6th step to becoming a legal tax professional is to find your niche. Remember earlier, I talked about my aunt. He was from the hood, he was from the streets, and he capitalized on that. So he found his niche. He knew his niche was low income, down to earth people that he can just talk to. Maybe that he, would share a drink with. Maybe he would see them out at the bar. I don't know. He's very successful. And that is the type of clientele that he attracts. They don't mind it that he's hood. They like it because they know him, like him, and trust him. They feel like, you're my neighbor. I know you're not going to do anything. I know you from way back. You can be my tax professional. That might not work for you, but think about, what is your background? So I have a background in real estate. So I work with a lot of realtors because I understand their pain points and their struggles. What is it that you have a background in? Did you work with truckers? Did you work at a medical facility? Are you a nurse? We have had a lot of teachers to become tax professionals. So just think about your background. Think about the type of friends and family that you already have in your circle of influence, okay? These are the type of people that you want to focus on. You want to create a niche. You want to understand how to communicate with your niche. Let's say your niche is teachers. You need to understand everything about what the teacher wants to know. Like, there are certain credits if you are an educator that you can get. You want to start educating them like, hey, did you know if you're a teacher, you can get this type of credit? I work with teachers. I help you reduce your taxable income. Come and work with me. Like, speak their lingo. Where do teachers go and hang out at? That's exactly where you want to be going and marketing at. So definitely you want to find your niche. You can't be all over the place. Okay. If you're for everybody, then you're for nobody. So think about what you want your niche to be and then go after it. And number 7 is practice, practice, practice. Okay. You are not going to feel 100% confident that first year when you start off. I took the class. I still was not confident when I started doing taxes. As I told you, I was crying on the phone to my mentor, scared to do people's taxes because I did not want to mess up. The thing that is going to get you over that fear is practicing, okay? Practice, practice, practice. This means you want to do as many tax returns as possible. So you want to tell everyone you know, your friends and your family, hey, I'm a tax professional. You know, I can help you reduce your taxable income. I can help you get your biggest refund. Let me help you. And then just continue practicing, okay? This industry is one where you build on yourself, okay? So the first year you'll get, let's say the first year you get 50 clients. Most of those people are going to come back to you next year as long as you're not doing anything that's going to hurt them. Okay. And then you keep marketing and you get more and more and more people until finally you don't even have to market anymore. People are just going to know you as a tax professional and come back to you. Okay. So it is really very easy to become a legal tax professional. And remember, if you are preparing taxes and getting paid and you are not following these steps, you can be fined by the IRS, okay? So it's very important that you actually become legal if you're someone who's doing taxes right now and you're not. Let's go over those steps again. So first, you have to be 18 years old. The first step is to learn how to do taxes. So you want to take a tax course, okay? Again, we do have an online tax course. We're going to put that in the comment section if you're interested. It's very easy, simple. You can do it 24/7, anytime, and you have access to it forever. So let's say you start the course now, and then it's tax season and you forget something. Well, guess what? You can always go and log back into that course and pick it up. You're going to have study guides. You're going to learn about marketing. You're going to learn about everything you need to know the basics of doing taxes. The next step is to get your Ptin, your preparer tax identification number. That's something you're going to get from the IRS. The fee for that right now is $35. You absolutely must have that to be a legal tax professional. Third thing is to find a company to work for. You can look for local companies near you. If you take our course, you're certified. We have options where you can become an independent contractor with our company. We'll pay you commission. We'll teach you the ins and outs of doing taxes virtually, and you'll have everything you need to actually succeed in this industry. Let's say you don't want to work under a company, you want to work for yourself. Well, then you're going to want to get your EFIN. Again, that is a long process. I definitely suggest getting that course that I mentioned earlier, how to launch a tax professional business. And it's going to walk you through the steps to actually getting your EFIN. We'll link that below as well. Number 5 is to get tax professional software. This is if you're doing it alone. If you're working under a company, you need to negotiate with them. Okay, if I'm working under your company, what are the benefits? What are the benefits? When you're listening to the benefits of working with them, make sure they say professional tax software, okay? Because if they're sharing a commission with you, you definitely want to have the ability to have things like software, scheduling system. Just ask them what the benefits are for working with them. Number 6, find your niche, okay? Who is your ideal tax client, okay? Just take a moment and think about it. Who is the person you think that you could easily attract? If you're a student, like I had somebody who was a college student, and she was very, very good. So she was a college student. And if you guys know, they have this little credit now for college students where they can get like $1,000. And so what she would do is she would go around campus and look for independent students who did not know about this credit and they had never filed taxes before. And she made that her niche. So her niche was independent college students who qualified for this credit. She charged them. They were able to get a refund and she was able to get her tax fees, and they referred her to other students all over the campus. So just think about what is your background, where is your circle of influence, and that could be your niche. When we do the tax course, we also go over finding a niche. And the last is just to practice, practice, practice. You're not going to feel 100% confident your first year doing taxes. It's going to take some time. And this is why we recommend working with a mentor that can walk you through this. You get a little bit more comfortable. You understand compliance. You understand what the IRS needs, and you don't have to worry about getting any fines or anybody coming to you saying, hey, you messed up my taxes, calling you at all times of night. Like it can get real ugly in the streets, y'all. It really can. Now, once you start doing this, I just want to quickly talk about where you can go with this, okay? Because there are levels to being a tax professional. So you can just be a regular tax professional who, basically you just do taxes. That's just what you do. If you want to become an expert, which I strongly suggest, you want to start getting things like continuing education credits. So this is where you take classes that train you more on specific tax rules. So you can actually represent your clients before the IRS. So let's say that your clients was audited and now they have to pay back some money. Well, if you get certain designations, you can actually go to court and represent them. This could be another fee for the client, or could be something that you add on, but now you're an expert. People actually pay you for this. So there's two ways you can do that. You can participate in the IRS annual filing season program. You can represent clients. Now, if you participate in this program, it has to be clients that you actually did, okay? You're only able to represent clients whose tax returns you prepared. But let's say you become an EA, that's called an enrolled agent. You're authorized to represent before the IRS. Anybody with any type of tax issue can come to you and you can represent them before the IRS. This can be very, very lucrative. I remember I had somebody reach out to me and told me that she had a lien from the IRS and that they were now taking money from her paycheck, every single paycheck, and she didn't know what to do. She was ready to throw all kind of money at me to just help her through this process. But because I wasn't an EA, and I didn't do her tax return, I wasn't able to represent her before the IRS, but I did refer her to someone who could help her. So just keep that in mind, that there's a lot of different ways that you can really make this whatever you want to make it, okay? We definitely suggest being an expert in your field. So at this time, I'm going to check to see if I have any questions, and then I'm going to answer those, and then we're going to move into our networking section of the meeting. Okay, looks like I have a question. Can you be 17 years old and be a tax preparer? No, unfortunately, you do have to be 18 years old to be a tax professional, because you have to be 18 to get your Ptin. Okay, so if you're somebody who is 17 and you're already thinking about this, I like the way you think. You're going to have to wait till you're 18, but you can definitely get started in this industry. All right. Okay, and I'm glad that you learned a lot. Yes, the software does 90% of the work, guys. The software does 90% of the work. Okay, most of what you're doing is data entry and having people skills. Okay, if you have the people skills, if you're willing to go up to anybody and talk to them, I'm telling you, this could work for you. My first year doing taxes, what helped me is I was calling everybody I knew. And I said, hey, I'm a tax preparer. And one of my best friends from kindergarten, I told her, hey, I'm starting as a tax professional. Tell everybody you know that I can help them. And I'm going to give you a referral. Like, I'm going to give you $50 for everybody that you send to me, right? $50. She took it and ran with it. She called up all her family and friends, and I literally was doing all of her family and friends too. So if you are somebody who may not be that talkative, think about people that you know, because I'm sure you have a friend or family member that is that talkative person. If you can give them some type of referral, some money, some type of incentive that's going to encourage them to tell other people, this could be a good way to get referrals, okay? And then guess what? Further down the line, you can actually get them to come work with you. So now that same best friend that I told you about, she's actually one of our office managers. So this is just how you can continue to build in this industry. I never would have thought 6 years ago when I was just starting that I would take it to the level of actually employing people. I've had my family working with me, friends working with me, people from high school that just watched me leveled up and said, hey, I want to come and be a tax professional. I never would have thought 6 years ago that this is what this could be. So guys, I'm telling you, this opportunity is available to anyone who has a dream, who is willing to learn, and who is motivated to succeed. Okay. All right. So I think that's all the questions I had. Thank you. I plan to take your class next month. Okay, great. We would love to have you. So guys, thank you so much for coming to this webinar and joining us for how to become a legal tax professional. I really hope that you learned something amazing today. I just love this industry so much, guys. If you've been watching, my husband and I have completely changed our lives being in this industry, okay? We've been able to travel the world. Like I said, I've employed friends and family, and I've just watched my life bloom just because of this industry. So as long as you believe in yourself, you do not have to change anything about yourself. As long as you believe in yourself, you can definitely succeed in this industry. If you would like to work with us, we will have the link below to schedule a call. If you are just getting started in the tax industry, we can help you. If you're looking to scale and level up your business, we can help you. So again, thank you for joining us. We will be live next week with another tax class. And until then,